evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, state championship weekend coming up. This is going to be our preview show from the state championships and our recap show from last week's lower state and upper state championship games. We're gonna hop right into this thing. Probably not too long of a show tonight. We're gonna really ain't got but one local team left. That right, Devin?
Oh yeah,
the South Arts. That's the only local team we got left, but we are gonna cover pretty much all the games. We'll hop right into this thing, man, and we'll get you guys prepped and ready to go for the state championships this coming up weekend.
Yeah, man. We had Central finally their winning streak came to an end. They got beat on the road by Hampton County 42-22, and South Florence kept rolling over Gray 55-14. So that was really all the two teams left in the area. But I do want to before we get to talk about those games. I hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving and happy holidays coming up. So hope you're excited for that. But we'll get right into it. Also, now I just want to talk about a little bit before we get to those local games. What about Loris and Oceanside? What did you think about that game?
I was really surprised at the outcome. I thought the game would be a little tighter. I thought Oceanside would win the game. I was really kind of hoping Loris would carry the torch for our region, but I think Oceanside was on a mission pretty much after that Marlboro County game. I think that was an eye-opener for them. And, the past 2 weeks is pretty much they've just been rolling over the competition. And, it's going to be another tough matchup this week for a state championship, man. But right now, the way Oceanside's playing, I don't see nobody stopping them at this point.
No, I don't think Moon Gerald, the quarterback for Loris, that like we talked about too, that Loris got some big guys on that defensive side, and really at every position. Then you look at the offensive side. I mean, you look at, I think his name is Trayvon Johnson. I think is that 88. On the outside, man. When we got there that night, when we were about to commentate that game, I said, dude, that dude's huge. He looked like Megatron.
Yeah, he that 88 made, like you said, though, he looked like Dez Bryant out there a little bit, and he pretty much, he didn't really have a big game against Marlboro. I don't know if it was just the scheme or the offense, something they were trying to do that night, but he really wasn't involved that much, man. But the past 2 weeks, he's pretty much dominated Dillon and Loris. Yeah,
Loris really didn't have no answer to stopping those guys on offense. You look, I think the 88 had 2 or 3 touchdowns, and then it really makes me talk about it is that big play he had that slant across the middle, and then he drags like 7 or 8 players for like 20, 25 yards, which is really crazy for his size, how he can do it, especially with those linemen that was on his back.
Yeah, I was asking you before we went on live on the podcast, where was he committed or anything like that. I haven't heard a whole lot about the guy, man, but, looking more into him, man, he definitely is a ball player, and just seeing people talk on social media and stuff about him, he's probably one of their better players. It just seems like he should be getting a little more attention than what he is.
Yeah, that game, I was watching bits and pieces of that game. Early on, that they went back and forth for probably 5, I say in real time, probably 10 or 15 minutes, but after those few first drives, man, that game really got out of hand. Loris tried to put up a fight, but they weren't really enough for Oceanside. And everybody thought they was going to have a chance, which I thought they would have a chance too. This is the best Loris team I think they had in the school's history. Well, it was 12-0?
13-0.
13-0 coming into that game, or undefeated, whichever one. So their season came to an end, which I know was probably sad for those seniors, but I seen a lot of seniors on that roster when Marlboro County played them. So yeah, it's going to be a sight to see of how they match up with all these teams that they just throttled through this year. Because, that get back, people keep that in the back of their mind when you run a score up, especially like we watched. They was up 25, 30 points still throwing the rock.
Yeah, and the way, like I said, the way Oceanside has ran through Dillon and Loris, man, that's really got me excited about going into next year for Marlboro. Marlboro was right there, had that game for the taking with all 10th graders, man, and a couple of juniors. Man, I think Oceanside Marlboro's on a collision course for the Lower State Championship game next year. I'm going to go ahead and write it down right now. I think those two teams are on a collision course, and I'd be very shocked if they didn't match up in the Lower State Championship next year.
Yeah, it wouldn't be probably a bad idea to just go ahead and, so if you got a 2-year contract, I'm just going to throw them back on there
That's my way too early prediction for next year's lower state.
See, one thing I'm looking forward to this off season, because we're going to touch on basketball here for the next month and a half or so. Plus, we got big baseball season coming up. But I want to touch on like these teams that we cover. Like I want to go through these rosters, and I just want to see what guys they're bringing back. Like certain nights we have different episodes about what team we really is going to dive into, and maybe we might can get some coaches on the show just to talk about this year's team and what they're going to have returning, and half these teams are getting ready. It's not playing another sport. They're getting ready for spring practice soon. Because, I mean, you think about it, it's going to be here really before you know it. Because this high school season really, or us doing the commentating and these podcasts, man, this season really has flown by.
Man, it flew by. I mean, I was talking to, my significant other about how many weeks it had been since we had been out to dinner or anything on a Friday night. And she said, I mean, it's been like 7 weeks. I said, no, baby, it's been 12. I mean, that's just how fast it goes by. I mean, 12 weeks. I mean, that is, that was a long season. Just imagine these teams are still going 13, 14 weeks. And hopefully next year that'll be us. We'll be involved for that long in the season. But, that's a good idea, man. We'll touch base on some of the teams, especially we'll cover like Marlboro's region pretty much to start with. Then we'll cover, Charles region, just some of the local teams, just the regions locally, and see if any of these teams have the chance to, sustain success, I guess, going forward. Who, like Lawrence, they're losing an awful lot. It's going to be tough. I think they said their JV team was really good this year. But hey, Marlboro's JV team was undefeated as well. I mean, that region, I don't know what Lawrence is going to have, but I still think Dillon and Marlboro are both going to be pretty tough again next year.
Yeah, you look at Dillon's. Speaking of Dillon, you look. They're going to have their quarterback back. Not sure really on the running back position. I know Zero is a senior that's going to North Carolina. I think his name's Campbell. I think he's a sophomore or maybe a freshman. He's back. And the running back, I think Jamarcus Fling or just something Fling. I'm not sure if he's a senior or a junior. So, I mean, he may be back, which that's just people, like at the skill position.
Right.
Everything really comes into a factor, especially, I feel like this conference this year, a lot of games was really won in the trenches.
It was. And, man, I keep harping on Marlboro, but, I mean, those guys, battle tested down there in the trenches on both lines of scrimmage, and they got everybody back. I mean, we looked at the nose guard, PJ Williams, Patrick Williams from Marlboro. He visited Georgia last week. I mean, they just don't bring in anybody just to come watch. You know what I mean? It wasn't an official. I mean, like I said, there's only a junior, but I mean that's big time for you to even get invited to that game. So that tells you what kind of talent he's got. And then, both ends are back. Caden Walton, Jay Nash, and then Big Majay McCoy back there at linebacker. I mean, that front seven for Marlboro is really stout, man, on the defense side of the ball. And I can't tell how excited I am for next football season and just in general, man. I mean, knowing that, you're going into the season and probably going to have a pretty good team returning. I mean, that just makes it, that much more exciting. And I can't wait the spring ball to get here. And before you know it, we'll be kicking off again in August.
Yeah, man, this season, like now, this off season, like you said, harping on that, ready to get back out there to it. This season, actually doing the podcast and keeping up with all the teams and getting to know a lot of the players and playmakers of these teams, and actually being able to commentate some of the games with you guys towards the end of the season, man, it actually was an eye opener for me, like what all goes into people to actually do this on a day-to-day basis and cover games and talk about people and do interviews, and which, I mean, it's really fun. And I'm looking forward to getting back into it next August and getting out maybe some of these 7-on-7s during the summer and getting to know some of these maybe people that's going to have to learn. You're going to see players grow in development to get ready for next year that maybe didn't play none this past season.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, I just, I want to just say thank you to everybody. We're growing and developing this podcast. We started from scratch. I mean, neither one of us really had much of an idea what we're doing. Early on we had a lot of technical difficulties. We tried to work through those, and we tried to make this thing better. I mean, I know it's not what you go on TV and watch a podcast, or this ain't the Pat McAfee show. But I mean, this is just us two guys doing it for fun. We don't make anything off of this. We don't have sponsors. We're just taking time out of our day to do it for fun. Keep everybody updated on what's going on in local teams, because I mean, just say for the normal guy in SCHRL, he doesn't, he might not have any way to keep up with Pageland or South Florence or not even know the scores. I mean, I know for a fact, me, when I was working 12-hour shifts over at Crown, I mean, I really didn't have a whole lot of time to keep up what was going on. I love high school sports. I tried to check on my team's score, but I didn't have an opportunity to look at the rest of, the surrounding area. And, we want to give people that outlet. I mean, to kind of, have an idea of what's going on anyway. We might not know everything, but, we try to get as much stats for you guys as we can. We try to have all the local scores that we can, and just, if you can't find it on Friday night, maybe on Saturday or Sunday, we have a podcast. You guys can go back and look at it and, say, dang, I didn't know that. Did you know such from Scotland had 300 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns in the game? I mean, that's not an everyday stat, but I mean, it literally happened by a freshman running back. I mean, people with SCHRL, even Bennettsville, they probably don't even know that. I mean, but that kid's a freshman, had 278 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns in a playoff game. I mean, that's unheard of for seniors. I mean, much less a freshman. So, I mean, that's what we try to bring you guys stuff like that, and hopefully, like next year, we try to expand this thing and grow. We're going to try to have more coaches on, more coaches interviews. We will, we probably could have did a little more this year, but I was doing the radio, and now with Devin, he did some of the radio with us at the end of the year. Weren't able to do as much as we wanted to as far as getting out the games, but I got some ideas in mind this year where we can have some, maybe have some people out at games for us, especially if you do any more of the radio with us.
Yeah, I would love to really expand. I know it's really hard to do it going into year 2, but I mean, I'm still learning about how to actually do face-to-face interviews on here. I mean, I don't really trying to ask people because I like to try to learn and grow on my own, and so I can. Whenever somebody else maybe wants to start with something like, "Hey man, this is what you need to do," I don't have nobody guiding me and telling me how to do the podcast. I mean, we just create our socials on our own, and just really just went out on a limb. I mean, we don't have no plan. We just talk about off air what we're going to talk about tonight. I mean, and sometimes we start talking and it just starts coming out. I mean, then you get a little rhythm going, and hey, it's going down. It all makes sense towards the end of the podcast.
Yeah, we're going to try to look into maybe we want to do some live stuff. Even if it's not at a game, maybe like we talked about doing some coaching stuff, maybe at maybe a local restaurant or bar or something like that. We want to get out in the public. We can have some back and forth, get some questions from you guys, answer some questions. That's something that we want to do, that we're going to look into next year. We already got some couple of coaches on board willing to do that, willing to come on live. And I think Devin, we might have a special guest here coming up soon. Devin reached out to a guy that, played big-time college football, played in not the NFL, he played the CFL.
Arkansas State.
Played Canadian Football League. He's played in the is that the UFL or that?
Yeah, I think it was
the new football league.
They went to Arkansas State too.
Yeah, so
that guy right there.
Yep, we got his jersey hanging up here behind me. So I got some people we can reach out to, man. We're gonna try to have more guests on next year. We were kind of hesitant to try to get a bunch of people on this year because we're new at it and we were still learning the process, but. Next year we're gonna try to bring more guests to you guys and more knowledge and people that know more stuff than me and Devin. We're just doing this stuff for fun. But next year we're trying to grow this thing a little bit. So if you got any ideas, you guys reach out to us and if anybody's willing to want to sponsor, we don't mind putting a sponsor up there too. We're not asking for it, but if somebody just reached out and wanted to do that, we'll put your business out there and hopefully maybe get some more business for you guys.
Oh yeah, man! Everything's really much appreciated. Even if you was wanting to maybe be I ain't gonna say be a third person in the thing, but I mean we really want to expand the camera and really the social side of the podcast with maybe doing a little camera and audio work for us too. So I mean you kind of good with that. Really wouldn't mind, but long as you live in the, we didn't want you to drive an hour or 2 hours for our podcast. But I mean, whatever really suggestions helps, and I mean, we all take it into consideration, and we can talk about it. But we just thank you guys for supporting really all year long of this high school season. And like you said, it's really hard Friday nights of us like really giving you live updates of stuff because he's commentating in Marlboro County high school football games, and hopefully next year I'll be on board with those guys too. So if people were wanting to actually run the socials too, like during game and give up updates, but that might be something we could work out too also.
Or maybe you can, if you're at a game that we're not at, maybe you can, call in with a report, or maybe we can reach out to you like on Monday we do our recap show, and you can give updates and stats and stuff in that game and get some firsthand information from some stuff you saw live, other than us just reading off stats, stuff like that. That'll be great. Maybe we can grow up to a point where we got people at 4 or 5 different ball games on Friday nights, man. And that's where we want to get to. We plan on doing this for a long time. We don't want to see any stopping in this thing. So like I said, like Devin said, we appreciate everybody. I mean, each and every like that we get for our YouTube page, our Facebook page, man, it means a lot to us. And we look to expand this thing and grow, and hopefully maybe we can expand and add a couple more people to the mix and make this thing get it pretty big and well known in our area.
Yeah, man, but we'll go ahead and get into the big week that everybody's been waiting on. The teams are still playing. This is their last week, and there's maybe some guys that don't get to strap up again after this weekend of these state championship games. Really, man, this ain't like golf, or this ain't like tennis, or some guys, sometimes this is the last week. Some guys, really 95, 96% of players, this is really their last time of actually strapping up.
Yep, last time they'll ever put a pair of shoulder pads or helmet on in their life, man. And hey, you never know when it'll be your last day, when it'll be your last game. I mean, everybody wants to go play at the next level, but like reality is everybody don't get to do that, and it's tough. I've been there. The last game played.
That's what I was about to say. Take me before I get into these games. You played high school football for 4 years in Marlboro County. Take me through your little, I ain't gonna say your whole high school year, but like your junior, senior year. I know, like if you're a junior, like if you're not a senior, this really don't affect you, but like you're a junior, okay, Friday night, let's say this weekend you finish, okay, I'm a junior, but when you take that game off, you're a senior. I mean, you get ready for next year.
I kind of had a different perspective because I had a pretty good freshman year, had a really good sophomore year. I get moved up at the end of the year. So going into my junior year, I'm thinking, okay, hey, I'm going to probably be on varsity playing a lot next year as a junior. And then I had a terrible car accident the summer going into my junior year. I missed pretty much the whole season. I really came back, tried to do some stuff to get back, but back then, I mean, I ain't saying that like it is now, but back then it didn't matter. And this is a prime example. I was in a car accident out for months and months. Coach Sharper didn't care. You had so many laps you had to run to make up. You had so many push-ups, so many sit-ups. I mean, it was like 500 laps I had to run just to get back on the team. And I had a severe hip injury, so I couldn't really, I just wasn't able to do that at that point. I couldn't run 500 laps with my hip. So I missed my whole junior year because of a car accident. So going into my senior year, I really didn't know what to expect. I was behind the 8 ball. Everybody that I thought I already had a leg up on had a year ahead of me then. So I had to fight and claw, and it took me 2 or 3 games to even get back into the starting lineup as a senior. So I didn't, I really earned everything I got, and I appreciated every opportunity because I almost had it taken away the year before that. So I seen what was for both sides. I had to sit in the bleachers on Friday nights as a junior and watch all my friends playing football, and that was tough. So I tried to take every game pretty much as my senior year like it was my last one. And so the first game against Straw, I really didn't play a whole lot. I was on special teams. And then I started the next week against Scotland, I played a little bit more. The next week against Richmond, I played a little bit more. And then one of my good buddies, Sean Alford, he gets hurt, tears his ACL. And then I'm starting, the 4th week against
Richmond.
No,
South
I didn't
Florence?
start the Richmond game.
Spring Valley?
Might have been West or SCHSl. And I think it's West, but it was homecoming. I had a really big night. I think I picked off a pass, recovered the fumble, and had 10, 11 tackles. So then, okay, I'm back. I felt myself, I'm back now. So, I didn't feel like I had to earn it, and I felt like I was going to play every Friday then. And so I really had a really good season going forward from there. But, yeah, going into the last couple games, we thought we was going to make the playoffs. So, pretty much, we thought we were locked in, win or lose the last game against Wilson. We ended up losing that game and got knocked out of playoffs on a tiebreaker. So, that was heartbreaking. We thought we were already in. I think Wilson beat us like 16-14 or 17-14. They had Darian Durant. You probably don't know him at quarterback, but he ended up going to North Carolina, starting quarterback for 3 years at North Carolina, and played in the NFL. So, quarterback. He was really good, but he was young. He was a couple years younger, so he was a 10th grader or maybe 11th grader that year. But he had a really good game. I think he ran 2 touchdowns or something like that. But yeah, we ended up getting knocked out on a tiebreaker of the playoffs, and that was heartbreaking because we were coming off of my 10th grade year, going to the lower state championship, and Dillon beat us and knocked us out. But we had already beat Dillon in the regular season, so we thought we had a good chance to go to the state championship that year. But Dillon come tomorrow and beat us, knocked us out in the lower state championship game, a game that we hosted. That was the worst part. We beat them at Dillon. They come back tomorrow and beat us and knock us out. So that was, we thought, okay, we're building on this. We're gonna have a really good team. And going into my in my senior year, we really didn't know what we were gonna do at quarterback. We thought that Chris Taylor was gonna be our quarterback. He had a couple injuries. We ended up starting Darren Bradford as a 10th grader. He had all the talent, but he was still young. Like I was telling you about Dillon's quarterback. He got talent, but he's still a freshman. But anyway, we played a bunch of young guys that year on offense, and offense didn't have the year that they thought they would have. We had a pretty decent running game. We didn't throw the ball as well as we thought we would, and we lost some really close games. Our defense really performed well, man. We held Richmond to no touchdowns on offense, and they ended up winning the state championship in North Carolina. So, Scotland, they scored a few touchdowns on us. They beat us, 21-10 or something like that. But, our defense played really well. But we lost a bunch of tight games. We just couldn't score any points. But, yeah, we thought we were automatically in the playoffs. I'm trying to get back on topic. But we thought we were already in. Ended up getting knocked down in a tiebreaker. So, that Friday night, you see a lot of people there. They know that's their last game. They all upset. We didn't. We thought we were in. So, we wasn't, crying on the field and stuff like that. We thought we were in. We find out, the next morning, hey, we didn't get in. So that's when you're really on your own then. Maybe we all met back up at the field house and kind of had a moment. But, so our Friday night was not like everybody knows you're taking your pads off for the last time. Everybody, we still think, okay, we're good. We should be good. And a couple of teams lost, got upset that we didn't think would, and then ended up getting knocked out on a tiebreaker.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's a big rant there. But that's the things you don't know. Like back then, social media probably wasn't a big thing.
It wasn't. So you didn't know.
Yeah.
You said, okay, the number 2 team in the state ain't going to lose to the last place team in the region. But stuff like that happened
back then
to knock us out. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Spring Valley might have lost to somebody. Spring Valley was really good back then. So Spring Valley lost to somebody, a big upset. They might have rested some players. We don't know.
Yeah.
But, we found out the next day, we didn't get in. So, and nobody got cell phones. So we all come into the field house to look at film. And that's when they just telling everybody, hey, we didn't make it.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Think about it now. Now if you lose, you're done, or how your season's going, and you kind of know maybe 3rd or 4th region game who you really going to play in that first round.
Right.
Look, you can predict everything now. But that's what I'm saying. Back then, it's really different, like you said. Imagine if people had to know if they got in now or how it was. I mean, so it's really, I say it's really more sad back then than it is now. That's what I'm saying. And people underestimate this high school football. I mean, back when y'all played, and then back up until maybe about 10 years ago, they used to have people practicing in the summer 100 degrees 2 times a day. I mean, you can't even out. There's so many rules and stipulations now that you can't do nothing hardly. But I mean, I see where North Carolina's trying changed some of their 7-on-7 rules where they ain't want them out there over 85 degrees.
Man, I told you, you didn't believe me, but when we went to football camp in the summer, we practiced 5 times a day.
Yeah,
the only day we didn't practice 5 times was Tuesdays and Thursdays because we scrimmaged, but we still practiced 2 times those days and played a game that evening.
See, you try to do that now, a coach would say that, you would probably get fired.
Man, it was crazy.
See, that's the thing that's about like having this podcast with somebody older like you, and then like somebody like me, like you can tell these stories to the listeners that maybe is younger, and they be like, he lying, but like, and all seriousness, you being serious because you done did it.
I would, some of the stuff, man, I went football camp at that time. It was like a living hell, you know what I mean? But now looking back, man, it was some of the funnest times of my life. Like I was telling you about some of the pillow fights and stuff. We running into other cabins at night, and we actually took our dirty clothes sack and we was beating on the boys in the linebacker room, and we put one of the guys out for the year. I hurt his neck. He had messed up something in his neck. I mean, it wasn't funny then, but
you didn't have no cell phones then, so
no. We looking back like. I mean, we did some crazy stuff, man. We had fun, man. We snuck off in the middle of the night to go swim in this lake up there that the coach already told us, y'all don't go up there. And we went anyway. I mean, and Coach's son was with us. I mean, he was right there with us. I give him credit for it. He lied and said it was okay, but he was right there with us. So next morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, they beating on trash cans, waking everybody up, and they got the bus lights cranked up on the field out there, and we running for the next 2 hours. Because we were all out there swimming that lake when it's supposed to be.
That's crazy.
4 a.m. So and then have practice at 6.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if they could actually have football camp nowadays.
Man, it was awesome, man. Like I said, it was so fun, and you had other teams there too. I mean, a lot of trash talking going on. Berkeley was there with us. They were coming off of the state championship the previous year.
You get into it with some of those teams?
Yeah. You just a lot of trash talk, a little pushing and shoving. No fights, but I mean, just talking trash. South Aiken was there, I think, and somebody else. I mean, it might have been Woodruff or somebody. I can't remember who else was there. I know South Aiken and Berkeley were both at the same camp with us. But yeah, man, it was an awesome experience, man. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. And just thinking back now, I have stories popping up in my mind. I can go on and on and on. But I mean, it was fun. Some of the funnest days of your life, and kids just don't get to experience that anymore.
Yeah, I feel like they got everything limited and strict now about stuff because it's all about liability and insurance, and it ain't safe, and something might happen or somebody might die. I mean, stories you tell me, I'm surprised a couple people didn't die.
I mean, like you just said, we didn't have cell phones, so we left on a Sunday afternoon. You didn't see your parents till the following weekend. They didn't hear from you. You didn't see them. I mean, you just gone. I mean,
it's crazy.
They don't know what's going on.
And now people's got Live 360. They be like, dang, he's out here that fun. What reason?
I told you about the bus, the engine blowing up in the back of the bus and knocking the back glass out. And them boys on the bus smoking. Yeah, I mean, it was.
No, you couldn't do that these days.
No, man, it was fun, man. Like I said, I had some of the funnest times of my life that year.
But did you ever get to? You didn't ever get to play for state championship, though, correct?
No.
But you played for a lower.
Yeah.
So take me into. We going into state championship. Let's just say it's lower state or whatever. I mean, it's the same kind of, almost the same kind of deal. You got to play the game the same way. What's like this week with these state championships lining up? Let's say if you play on Friday, you play on Friday at 12 o'clock, like one of these games are. What's the typical day in the life, a week leading up to that Friday?
Man, really, as a coach, you want to keep it as normal as possible. I mean, everybody knows for us it was lower state championship. Everybody knows how big the game is, but the coach, you want to try to keep everything as the same routine as you had all week, because the more you make out of it, the more pressure it seems to put on kids. And our issue, man, I think we might have been overly confident. We had already beat Dillon. They had the best running back in the state of South Carolina. We held him to, I know, under 100. I mean, well under. He fumbled twice. They only scored 1 touchdown. We ended up beating them 14-7. I mean, so we're riding high. I mean, we blew out the first 2 or 3 rounds of playoffs. We beat Walterboro like 50-0. I can't remember who else we played, but our first 2 or 3 rounds of the playoffs were complete blowouts. I mean, not even a close game. I mean, everybody who was dressed out got in the ballgame. So I think we were maybe a little overconfident going into that game. Dillon did some things that that we hadn't seen before. So their quarterback really, he scored both touchdowns. They beat us 15-0. They went for 2 early on in the game. Theo Baker. So he ended up scoring both their touchdowns. We're keying on Stan Manning. I mean, he's the number 1 running back in the state. So everybody going in, Stan Manning's going to try to make up for the game he had the first time against Marlboro. So we're keying on him. And they were running an RPO before RPO was what it is. And Theo Baker really, he killed us all night long. Ended up beating us 15-0, and that was the end of that run. But yeah, for the most week, man, our coaches kept everything pretty much just normal as it could be. I mean, we still had our normal Sunday film. We still had our regular practices during the week. We had our walkthrough on Thursday, had our team meal on Thursday, and we home hosting that game. Really, man, we just, dealing and executing, we didn't. I mean, I don't think it was really anything extra that we didn't do or that they did do. I just think that they knew what we were going to try to stop, which was their running back, and we did. And they took advantage of us with the quarterback run.
Yeah, like you're saying, you want to stay as calm and cool and collected as you can as a coach. I feel like last year, I mean, this is going off a deep side or whatever, but last year, like this past year of baseball, man, I feel like me was assistant at SCHRAW, the baseball team, man. I feel like I catch myself diving into like the team that we playing, like diving deep into their stats, saying like I can see their spray charts and where the guy's hitting the ball, and I already got like in my head about where he hits the ball, or like where we should play this guy, and how we should pitch him, or should we pitch him backwards, or who you think we should? What you think is a good time to walk in, or should we not let him hit against us, or not let him beat you? Like I feel like you can really over prepare for a game.
You today everything's analytics. Back then you physically had to go meet. Our coaches would go meet the other coaches on Saturdays and exchange game film. You got 2 films. Nowadays, I mean, you can see with Huddle, you can see every game they play.
Yeah.
So they're going to give you their films that they want you to see. Like, so we knew, we thought their running back, he had dominated all through the playoffs. He's running for 200 yards a game. So we like, they're going to try to get him going, right? So that's the film. They're going to give us those films of him running. Nothing we've seen of the quarterback run, right? So their offense is completely different. So I guess that was kind of an advantage back then. Now you can see every game they play. Back then, all you could see was what they gave you.
Yeah, and now I feel like even though the film, word of mouth now, like people online, they already know. Somebody in Charleston can tell you what offense your team's running. Who's the best players.
Oh yeah, and also back then we would always send a coach to scout to watch, and he only gonna be able to tell you so much, but he's pretty much gonna tell you the same thing the film says. Hey, they running 33 got 25 carries for 210 yards. That's and then they give you film that says the same thing. Film don't lie, but then the next week 32 or what, I think 32 or 33, I can't remember what he was, 34 maybe. He don't carry the ball but 8 times. The quarterback runs about 20 times and kills you. You know what I mean? Because he's keeping everything. Hey, and it took some time to adjust. I mean, and our defense was really, really good that year too. I mean, I wasn't a star by no means. I mean, we had big-time players. Marquez Stubbs led the state in tackle at linebacker. You had big Eric Williams on the defensive line, went to Clemson. I mean, we had some players. Mike Johnson at safety or corner. We had some ballers, man, on that defense. And I mean, I just knew we state championship bound, man. But it wasn't meant to be. I never got to play for one. That was as close as I ever got.
Yeah, and I'm really going into, like you said, that the people that get to play this weekend get to strap up. Be thankful. There's a lot of teams, a lot of people, a lot of bodies that never even get to experience this, never get a taste of it, don't never get to smell it, don't even get to see a trophy. I mean, there's teams out here that probably never won a region championship somewhere. I mean, it might be around here, but there's somewhere. You see, like, and you see on there online, sometimes you be like, this team hadn't won a game in 11 years. They're 0-92. Stuff like that happens. Like, I mean.
Well, look at Loris. I mean, that guy was telling us that was the best team they've had in 25 years or something like that. The first region championship in 25 years, I think is what it was last year. And then they won it again this year. But, yeah, I mean, so nobody knows Loris to be a big football school, But I mean, now these days and times, man, schools are growing so much. People's moving in and out of town, especially down around those beach areas, man. It's a big tourist destination. People move in and out there, so teams can be really good one year and not so good the next year, or you can be terrible and then next year you got 3 or 4 guys moving there, and then you're reading championship team. But it's tough to consistently be good, especially a team like small town teams, man. You just don't never know what you're going to get. I mean, you pretty much got all homegrown talent, and you got to play with what you got. And, it's tough.
Yeah, it definitely is. Especially like 1A and 2A smaller schools.
Well, you see what we talk about. North Carolina's bringing up a proposal to let schools that don't have enough players combine
rural
have
areas.
one team. Yeah, rural areas. Like I think it'll be a lot of the 1A maybe up around the mountain teams and stuff like that. Teams that's playing with McBee, playing with what 14, 15 kids.
Yeah.
Really, I think they're saying that's a safety issue.
Honestly, no, at the end of the day, it kind of is. I mean, we made crap of it 3 or 4 weeks ago or whatever about it. But I mean, that's like playing basketball with 6 players.
Right.
I mean, you can do it on paper. You can play the game.
Yeah.
But it is hard to, especially like you say, like somebody like Matt be playing with 14, and you playing 1A Abbeville with 40 deep on there, just because everybody plays football in that area, and you got 3 or 4 deep above average 1A football players. I mean, it's hard to keep up.
So in that scenario, who would they let McBee combine with? Just say hypothetical. I mean,
I don't. Maybe Great Falls is 1A. That ain't too far.
Yeah, but how far is that away from each other?
30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I think.
Well, there's no difference in like
scenarios.
Wallace
like
and McCall. Kids gonna be driving.
Yeah.
Or I mean, it's really or maybe they just practice. I mean, I don't know how they do it. Maybe the teams practice separate and they just play together. But that would defeat the purpose.
I think they would practice. I would say practice at one team's field
that week.
Yeah, this week, and then maybe the next week at the other school.
Yeah. Just
kind of keep it fair. But yeah, you have to bring them together. I don't know how that's going to work, man. That's going to be pretty interesting to follow.
Well, I feel like North Carolina's a bigger state, which they got more schools that is closer. More like South Carolina, that the teams are kind of far. I feel like that's probably, I don't know, maybe 5 to 7 years out here. Because it will have to go through proposal. Which, I mean, you'll see, it's going to get a little bit more competitive here with this new realignment. They're trying to make it where the same size school numbers and stuff, it all meet together. But I don't think it should go off school number. I get it. You got 400 kids or 500 kids in your thing. I really think it should go off sport related. Like how many kids play? How many is in a program?
I think how many you got. I think you should have to turn in a roster.
Yeah. Each year and what you got coming back.
And what you got.
Yeah.
And then that should be what it goes on.
Yeah, because I mean,
just say you got 1,000 kids at your school. That don't mean that 100 of them's gonna play football. Or 80 of them gonna play football. You might get. Look at Georgetown. They're in the same region as Marlboro, so the numbers are
900 kids probably.
They had 20 kids on the football team.
That's what I'm saying.
Marlboro had what, 40, 50?
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It's really hard to, and you're trying to get a bunch of people from the beach area.
And I think if you turn in, there should be some consequence. If you turn in, just say you turn in 40,
and you got 50,
you should have to cut down to that 40. That should be your roster limit.
Yeah. Or if you want to be in a certain thing, you cap your roster limit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you 3A or whatever, and you want to keep only 35,
right?
You should have to cut. You know what I'm saying?
Down to 35.
Well, if you like 5A, okay.
Any player over, you may have to pay some kind of $100 fine. I mean, I don't know what it is.
Or you can just play them in non-conference, but a region or something like that. And somebody like 5A, okay, we're gonna cap. I mean, they probably got 60 players out there.
Right.
We're gonna cap y'all at 50.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean.
No, I think you should pick your number. If I'm Marlboro and I say I want to have a roster of 75, well, I get 75 or not. If I ain't got a 50, I turn in 75, so I got to play at the level with just got 75 players, so I might have to play up.
The biggest level.
You might have to.
Yeah.
So I think it should be up to each school.
Yeah. It's kind of far out, but I did see where they're talking about you know, with the transfer thing, like people having to pay money to go to these schools.
They're trying to eliminate that.
They got a proposal in for the money to follow
the kids.
So the parent doesn't have to pay for out of county if you want to move or.
But right now,
go to
if a school doesn't want a bunch of kids coming, they can just jack the price up on the transfer price.
And they don't pay for it.
And then nobody ain't gonna pay for it, so they ain't got to worry about kids coming.
And they can stay down.
Well, then you got other schools that really want to win in sports. They don't got no fee. It just needs to be fair across the board.
Yeah.
Either there's gonna be a fee or there ain't gonna be a fee. And because I know a school right now, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm good friends with them, but they don't have a fee.
Yeah.
So guess where everybody, and they're good. So guess where the good players, if they transfer, and where they gonna go? They gonna go where they can play for free.
And then you look at, I know a guy out there in the other state, like Dorman or somewhere, they try to keep it, I mean, Dorman's good. I mean, they try to keep it really like country town or whatever what it is. Their fee's like $9,000. I mean, that's a lot of money to pay to go to school.
Well, that's for out of
that's what I'm saying. That's why they jack it up and keep it down.
Well, that's to keep the enrollment down.
Yeah. So they try. I mean, they are 5A, but I mean, if they can keep it down and slide down to 4A, I mean, they got a better chance.
Yeah.
Which is really a different topic for a different day, but
we start rambling, man. We love talking football.
But it's good to let listeners know about actually what's going on in the high school league. Because some people don't know unless you just actually involved in that and that's in your algorithm, you know. But we'll get into these state championships again. We've been getting around it.
We have 40 minutes in, we need to talk about the game yet.
We got Big Bamberg Earhart against Lamar for the 1A state championship.
Man, I keep going back to that guy told us, man, the first week of the season. I can't get that out of my head. Pageland was the best team that Lamar's going to play, and they got blowed out, and now it made them better, and Lamar's still rolling here. They haven't lost a game since, have they?
I don't believe so.
I'm taking Lamar, man. I just think they're on a heater right now.
Lamar, the coaches on that staff has been there. They won some. They got probably a handful of state championships in these past 10 years.
Oh yeah.
But man, I want to take Lamar too. But Bamberg Earhart has just been. I mean, last week they played Cross close 26-24. Cross didn't get a 2-point conversion. But I mean, like you look at Carver's Bay and Latta and stuff. They throttled them. I mean, that might just show how good those guys are, but
I'm saying, man, the week before that, Louisville was everybody's darling because they knocked out Abbeville.
Yeah.
And then they roll into Lamar.
Beat them by 20. I mean, Lamar beats them by 20.
Lamar beat them by 20.
I'll go Lower State here. I'll take Lamar.
I'm saying Lamar. I mean, they're somewhat local in our area. I'm really hoping they win, but you know, the state championship game, you really don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, because you know, you look at these this weekend. Rain is in effect for Orangeburg. How can teams
cold rain?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How can teams manage? I know there's one team in this 3A. I talked to this guy on the phone yesterday, and it was barely raining at their thing. He said, "Man, I don't know what's going on. They didn't even practice yesterday. That's BHP. They didn't practice. You think Oceanside practiced yesterday?
Oh yeah, they practiced.
They was on that turf field getting it in. Yep. I promise you.
Oh yeah.
They ain't missing no reps. We got 2A state championship. You got Hampton County Hurricanes will travel to Orangeburg to meet with the Strong Thurman Running Rebels.
Man,
Strong Thurman's good, man.
I'm taking Strong Thurman.
You gonna take Strong Thurman?
I'm taking Strong Thurman.
I think somebody told me. I can't contest to it now. They said Strong Thurman got one of the best defenses in 2A. And they said Hampton County's got one of the best explosive offenses. I was listening to that game against Central last week, and it felt like that every time the running back for Hampton County touched the ball, he was gone. They took the starters out. Central scored a touchdown. They put him back in. Next play, 75 yards. He was gone. So it just shows me. And think about this: Hampton County combined, it used to be Wade Hampton, combined with a Stahl or a Steel, RB Stahl.
Yeah. They
combined because RB Stahl got small. The best player that is at Hampton County actually transferred the 1A to Bamberg and is not even getting the ball that much. And he was one of Hampton County's best playmakers last year, and he's been saying, "Man, I wish I wouldn't live." So yeah. I'm gonna take Hampton County here.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Lower State. I feel like Lower State always gets shafted unless you're South Florence. for these past few years. What about this one? Big 3A matchup. Gonna be, I think that one's Friday at 4:30. Could be wrong. Oceanside Land Shark versus the Belt Honey Path. What are they? The Bears.
BHP Bears.
And they are undefeated. The Bears are undefeated.
Man, look.
Oceanside 12-2 or 11-2.
I don't care.
Hey, but Oceanside did put BTA to VHP last year.
They're gonna put BTA again this year.
I was thinking the same thing.
Anybody who can roll up in there and beat Dutch Fort, which is a 518, I bet you BHP ain't played nobody that level this year.
No, see, I can't do it right now, but
Oceanside lost to Irma in a very tight game.
And beat Dutch Fort.
Beat Dutch Fort. So they are battle
tested.
They are battle tested.
Yeah. I'm going to go both.
I'm going Oceanside.
That's what I was saying. I'm going to go both.
Put BTA beside that.
Well, I seen somebody on the Oceanside team, 88, matter of fact, y'all talking about the get back, and we trying to go back to back.
Yep.
You see, I mean, that's a good catch.
That's good. Yep.
So I'm going to ride with 88. I think you look, they can throw the ball right around the yard. They got playmakers on all the outside. The running back, I think they ran the ball good the first half. I mean, I think he had probably 28 carries against Marlboro that night. So, I mean, if they got to do that, they can play that game too. So, I look for the Land Sharks to go back to back. Next, we got South Florence. We're meeting in Orangeburg versus Javion Currents in the South Point Stallions. And I seen one of his Twitter posts, and he said South Florence has got about 30 more minutes. And he said it last week.
As bad as I want to take South Florence, I got to roll with South Point.
You rolling with Bobby Collins?
No, I'm rolling with the players. Bobby Collins cannot coach his way out of wet paper bag.
And you look at this team right here, South Florence.
South Florence.
I mean, at South Point, they actually missed their starting quarterback. Remember, transferred out third game of the year because Coach benched him.
Right. So they moved the best player on the team, the quarterback. And
best player, maybe arguably one of the best players in the state.
I don't think South Florence got a player on the team that can contain him.
But I think South Florence has got a bunch of guys that's equal level.
I think they're a really good team. But I'm just telling
South Florence is battle tested too now.
They are. They play
I don't know who all South Florence plays. South Florence went for 2 on the road, beat Somerville, got throttled by Northwestern. That's really their biggest. I mean, and Northwestern. Look at the teams they played as good.
South Point beat Northwestern.
No, did they?
Yes.
Did they? Okay. Northwestern beat South Florence by like 20 points. Okay. South Florence went on the road and beat Somerville by 2. Somerville was playing for a state championship. So, I mean, both teams are battle tested here. I feel like this was going to be a low-scoring affair. But I'm going to roll with the Bruins for back-to-back.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Go out there on that limb.
I'm taking hey, I told you, Lower State always gets shafted. I think I want South Point to do good because of Javion Currents because he's coming to South Carolina. But I'm trying to see if I can come up on the upper hand, man. You looking at the record?
Yeah, I'm looking up South
Point schedule.
Yep, I'm trying to look that up right quick. Give me a second here. I'm pretty sure they beat Northwestern, and Northwestern beat South Florence by 20.
Yo, look.
I'm pretty sure Xavion Currents made a big play at the end of the game to win that game.
Still look right quick.
South Point. Let's click on them. South Point Stallions. Let's find their schedule here.
While we're waiting on them guys, we got a big matchup in 5A. We got Dutch Fort going for their 10th straight state title game appearance against Somerville Greenway, which Somerville come off a big win against the Island Boys in James Island last week. So that should be a good game. Dutch Fort last week, they warmed up with their shirts off. I mean, it was 25 degrees out there. So I think those guys are really locked in. So that's going to be a big game. But I wish we could get down there in Orangeburg this week, but we got some Christmas stuff to handle. So it's going to be a no-go for this crowd to go to Orangeburg this weekend, man. I wish they can somehow get the games back in Columbia. South Carolina or Clemson. Maybe just rotate it. I mean, they both they get enough money from their respective conferences to not charge these schools an arm and a leg to play on at a big stage for their high school championship. I mean, some kids never experienced or their families can't afford to ever go. They get tickets to go to these games. So
I was right. They beat Northwestern 27-23.
Okay. So both teams should be battle tested.
The only game they lost to Huff.
That's North Carolina.
North Carolina 14-10.
First game of the year, wasn't it?
First game of the year.
That was at the Panther Stadium too.
Yeah, so they beat Rock Hill. They did beat West Charlotte in overtime, 10-7. Then they eased that one out against Northwestern.
What's their scores?
Okay, so
all low scoring games.
No,
like the defense.
I'm fixing to tell you, they won 14-10 against Huff, 28-6 against Rock Hill. Then they won that overtime game 10-7. But after that, they got the rolling. 35-12, 28-7, 41-0, 48-7, 42-0, 70-0,
Good.
63-13, 49-0, 56-14, and 40-0.
See, I ain't really a mathematician. I look at that schedule, and I feel like they held all the teams they played under 140 points. Maybe, if that's about around
10, 16, 23, 46, 58, 65, 72, 82, 85.
Maybe less than that.
99.
That's the total amount of points they gave up all season?
99.
See, I was being generous with 140. 100, that's crazy.
14 games.
Was that 100 divided by what?
That's less than 10 points a game. You're at about 8 a game.
See, defense, that defense got to be locked.
But Le'Veon Kearns is quarterbacking and playing safety.
Well, I bet you don't throw the ball his way.
He's in the middle.
He had 2 picks last week.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure he scored a late touchdown to win that first game. They were down. It was 6-6 at halftime. Then Northwestern scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. And South Point only scored 6 points in the third quarter, so that made it 20-12. And then South Point scored 15 points in the fourth quarter, put it away. So that was really a tight game. And
defense got tired.
Yeah. So
who you rolling with? South Point?
Yep, rolling with South Point, man.
And guys, what we think, all these games is on TV, on your local TV provider. They start at 12 on Friday. I think there's 12, 4, and 7. And then on Saturday, I think there's games at...
Who plays the first game Friday? You know?
3, 4. There's 6 games. I think there's 3 on Friday, 12, 4, and 7. Then on Saturday, I think it's 12, 4:30, and 7:30. I'm not sure. I think 3A plays at 4 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I can't. Sure. All right. This is a big one. This is a rematch of last year's game. Ducks Fort, Silver Foxes versus the Somerville Green Wave.
Oh, man.
I think Ducks Fort is playing without their star player quarterback that really just gave it up after the third game of the season, which is a Clemson baseball commit. So, I mean, they're missing really one of the best guys in the state. But I think it'll be close.
You think it is?
No, it won't.
I don't think so.
Ducks Fort played that game like this last week. That game was close with Berkeley. Was it Berkeley? No, yeah. Berkeley, Irma.
No.
Ducks Fort came
Irma.
No. Irma's on the other side. I can't remember. But whoever it was like
Berkeley beat Myrtle Beach.
Berkeley played Irma, and Irma beat Berkeley.
Yeah.
Whoever it was, they played them close. So I'm gonna go Ducks Fort.
Yeah, BTA.
All right. How about this last game? 5A D2 bracket. Northwestern versus Irma.
This is probably the toughest one that I've had to pick yet, I think. Man.
Did Irma get it done last year? I can't remember. They had the coach's son that's now at Virginia Tech.
AJ Brand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Irma, man.
I wanna say Irma. I can't remember.
I'm gonna take Irma. I don't really know much about either team. I'm gonna take Irma, man.
I know both teams here is gonna be ready to play Friday or Saturday, whenever they play. I think is Irma lower state or upper?
Lower.
I'm gonna go Irma. I'm gonna go all Lower State. I think Irma is just maybe too athletic against Northwestern outside, but that's gonna do it for all our state championships games. Man, what about this little? We got enough time? How much time we rolling with?
We an hour in right now. Well, go ahead. We got.
What about? We'll recap this right here real quick. Cyclone Clemson game. We told y'all.
We out of time.
Yeah. Nah, we told y'all y'all would know if it was in front of our face, but no, I mean it was a good game for the most part. Offensive line for Cyclone is really just awful. Really just so I mean next year it's gonna be a big turnaround. They're gonna have to go out in the portal, and there ain't gonna be really no limit on money. They're gonna have to spend it. But if you want to be good, you gotta spend it.
Yep.
So that's really all I got to say about from that game. But kudos to Clemson. They win at our stadium, but they can't win in their stadium.
Yeah, I know. That's what. Remember, we said something to that guy.
Yeah, and you look at that, Cade didn't never. But like I told you mid game, I said if we get beat by 7, I'd rather get beat by 14 because that drunk touchdown that Cade scored with getting sacked in the strip and picks the ball and just runs it to the corner of the end zone. I said not want to lose by 7.
Yeah, that was a fluke play, man, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, they ran the ball a lot better than I thought they could on us. And really, man, every time we tried to get a little something going, we have a penalty or a turnover. I think Lenore turned the ball over 4 times, man, Saturday. Can't do that against good teams, man. But like I said, kudos to those guys. They pulled it out, and I guess we'll try to go to Clemson next year and get another win. Yeah,
that's really about all you can say next year for Shane Beamer. It's going to be really a playoff for bust, or you probably honestly going to get fired. I mean, he's been saying this. Next year you're going to say this is this, and we're going to be in the playoff. But I mean, it's coming from the horse's mouth now, so people's got stuff to stand on, and that's really all I can say about him.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's all I got. If you ain't got anything, Devin, we'll get ready to watch these games on Friday. I think I'm going to watch them, man, Friday night.
Yeah, I'm going to record. But, hey, we forgot to mention, tomorrow through Friday is National Signing Day, early signing day for these high school recruits.
Yeah. So, congratulations to all the kids signing tomorrow, man. So, good luck on your future, and I look forward to following some of these local kids on into their college careers.
Yep, the guys that'll do it for this episode of the recap and the previewing the state championship game, and we'll be back with y'all one day next week. And I hope y'all have a good Thanksgiving and stay warm because it's gonna be cold for this.